Hello and welcome to Appendix A of the Self-Hosted Implementation of Omeka for Librarians series. I hesitated to put this video up only because what you see here isn't actually the best course of action for when you encounter this error. So when you've built your Omeka instance and you go to the URL or the IP address and go through the process of finishing the install, if you get this message, which used to be quite common, it's an indication that you have an older version of Omeka installed. And really the best course of action um, is to actually upgrade your version of Omeka rather than follow the steps that I'm about to outline in this series. The issue here is MySQL 5.7 and above doesn't really communicate well with anything below Omeka 2.5.1. So the latest version of Omeka will avoid this. So it's best to upgrade to that. I am including this video. I had recorded things. I had accidentally installed a earlier version of Omeka while I was doing the video series, and so I went through the process of how to fix this error if you have an older instance of Omeka. So the what you see in the video isn't best practice at all. I would upgrade, but I am showing it only because it illustrates the problem solving process, which I believe is pretty important as a systems person to kind of figure out how to troubleshoot things. So I am including this video. It is just an appendix simply because it's more of a teaching moment than it is an actual suggestion on how to fix things. So hopefully you'll get something out of this video. So I'm just going to cut into where I started to encounter problems in an older video, and hope for the best. Click install. Okay, so here's an issue that I ran into yesterday, and apparently this is due to an update in MySQL, and it can be very problematic with new installations. Now, I found two separate solutions to this. I'm going to try the preferable one first, and we can get to that solution by copying the entire error string. Let's open a new tab and paste and search. And so we have a couple of links here that kind of explain what's going on. Essentially, it's a date formatting issue, and we need to fix that. So the solution that seems to be the best approach, we'll see if we can get it to work, is this one here, the invalid default timestamp values thread on GitHub. And there's a discussion here that talks about what's going on and why the approach we're about to take is the best one. So if you scroll towards the end of that conversation, there's this link here, the E81009D. If we click on that, we get a page that has that lists 4 bits of SQL code, all of which I believe we need to put into our MySQL server. The best way of doing this, I believe, well, the best way that I could figure was we don't want to type all of this into our SQL database, and that kind of causes its own problems. But so what I'm doing is I'm using a text editor to edit what I need to edit as we go along. So you may want to open up a text editor. Notepad would be fine. You don't need any kind of special fancy text editor. I'm using Notepad++ just because I have it. I'm familiar with it. It's easy to open. So what we want to do is go back to our server, and we're going to go into the MySQL server. So MySQL -u for user. We're going to be the root user -p for password, and we'll put in our password. So when we come to this page, we can show databases. Oops. And so we see that we do have our Omeka database, and the fix that we're going to use needs to happen in the Omeka database. So we want to use Omeka, and the database has changed. And if we show tables, we'll see that right now it's empty, and we're about to put in some tables that can be used by Omeka and should fix our problem. So fingers crossed. What we'll do is we'll minimize this, and we're coming back to our list of source code here. So for each one, we're going to want to click View, and then I'm going to copy all of the SQL code here because I don't want to type it out. And I'm going to bring it to my text editor and paste it in here. And the reason I'm doing this is I need to edit something up here. And if I simply paste this into MySQL on the command line, I don't know of a way to get up here to fix it. So what they're doing here is they're telling us to use our Omeka instance prefix, and as you may or may not recall from the db.ini file that we did some editing with earlier, there was a spot for prefix, and that prefix we used the default, which was Omeka underscore, and that should ensure that this code works on our instance, our database. So now that that is edited, I'm going to copy, go back to my server, and then I'm going to paste. And to do that, I just right click and it automatically does it. And so now we have everything. I think everything is here that needs to be, and so we'll do enter, and it looks like the query was okay. Everything went through the way it should. So we will go back to the website here on GitHub, go back, and we'll get the next bit of code. So copy it, bring it to our text editor, delete that, paste the new one in there. Let's put in our prefix, which is Omeka underscore, and let's copy all of that. Go to our server, right click, and enter. That one seems to have gone through. We'll do the next one. Oops. Copy. Paste into our text editor. Put in our prefix, Omeka underscore. Save. We don't need to save. Copy. Right click, enter, and that seems to be good. And our final one, view copy, bring to the text editor, paste, edit our prefix, Omeka, copy, go to our server, right click, enter. So now when we do show tables, enter. So we now have our tables in Omeka. So hopefully this will do what we need it to do. Let's go ahead and exit. And for good measure, I am going to restart Mysqli. So let's see, we want sudo etc init.d and mysql and restart. And let's see here. So we are restarting the MySQL server. Okay, now fingers crossed that did the trick. We will go back to our website. I'll just hit the back button. And actually maybe we're going to start from the beginning. Reload everything. Okay, so the username, library admin, password, okay, and let's hope for the best. Install, success. So yes, using those instructions on GitHub are going to fix your problems. And if this is a new install and you're using the most up-to-date software, that issue is probably going to arise. So that is the best solution. There are other ways you can kind of turn off certain things that make this happen, but we want to keep things as running as smoothly as possible. We want to avoid problems in the future, and I think this solution seems to be the best approach. So hopefully you got something out of that. Again, it's better to go through the process of upgrading Omeka. This only happens with new installations, so it should be fairly easy to do the upgrade. It would be a lot easier than if you already had everything installed and have to, save the SQL database and all of that. So hopefully you found that helpful, and hopefully you kind of learned some techniques in going through the troubleshooting process. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below, and thanks for watching.